tall shredder with only moderate cut sound. Gah! Hey, what's up everyone, my name is Channator Gaming and welcome to the Bunny Hill Horror Bunny Boiler. Now, it has been some time since I've recorded games. I caught that dreaded lurg that's going around at the moment, that's taking everyone ill. But I got recommended this game. I actually got a recommendation, so I'm going to play this for them. Don't really know what to expect from apart from the pretty girl on the title screen. But we shall press play. So I found the place for my job interview. It was like this old Newcastle on a mill, on a hill. Great start. I mean, it was meant to be old. It had only just been built. I met this mad receptionist called Fluffy, or something. She stole my phone. And the boss man, Oswald Mandias, talked a load of gibberish about how the past was better and how I'd made a worthy servant. And there was this semi-naked girl, whoa, doing yoga called iCloud? Or something weird. Her sister had vanished, but she didn't seem to care much. Alright, then I found out they'd been doing like crazy drug experiments on people who did my job, and even the sister for rebelling. Wow! I found the sister. She also had a strange name, Ostrith. That's how I'm gonna say it. How do I say it? But she was the vicious zombie thing from the drugs. I escaped when she tore the guard to pieces. And there were dire wolves. Did I mention there were dire wolves? The only sounds are the footsteps in the pavement as... Oh, I realised I could scroll. Now I feel like an idiot. Okay. The only sounds of the footsteps in the pavement as your friends contemplate your story in silence. So begins, Claire. If you get the job or not, this is going to be like that time you got sacked from the library, but still went in every day, rearranging the shelves and shushing people, asked Dave's. No, you say. The boss man is the pub landlord too. When he spots that I've left my post, I don't know what he is going to do. Well, let's find out, shall we? Says Dave cheerfully. Clayton Tavern is a trophy with our name on it. After you. Welcome to the Bunny Hill Horror Bunny Boiler. This is a graphic novel adventure in which you progress by clicking the options beneath the scene text. When you collect an item, an icon will appear which you can click on to examine or use. The icon will flash when it can be used. Standard general options are at the top right, and well, that's about it. Let's go! You approach the Clayton Tavern, whose orange lights look appealing through the cold drizzle of the evening. The sight of the rough and serious looking man in the doorway is enough for your friends to slow down, leaving you in front to take charge. To your left is a nearly empty car park serving several shops, but this area of the suburbs holds on other attractions. Good evening, mate. You nod at the man as you enter the warm tavern. That's your intention anyway. But your mate has other ideas and you walk into a beefy arm which blocks your path. I'm glad you think it's a good evening. All this murk and rain, he says, because unless you've got an invite, you're going to stay out in it. I work at the castle, let me in. I know you do, says the guard. My brother Bob told me. He says you're the sort of lazy, skiving asshole that they find at the bottom of the barrel for job applicants. You're only here because you're expendable. If you think that means you can bother important people while they enjoy a drink, you can think again, pal. Go to the car park. Excuse me. You walk to a small group of shops which includes a dry cleaners, a pharmacy and a pile of racks which seem to have been dumped outside. Claire taps your soda and points a hedgerow which completely cuts off the car park from the road. Just ask for help. So begins Dave. The problem, as I see it, is that we need to get inside the pub, but can't without an invite. so we need to get an invite. My apologies. There is a silent pause, broken by slow clapping, hand clapping from Claire. Well, at least I'm trying, Dave, says with a scowl. Go to the hedgerow. You go over to the hedgerow to see what's aroused Claire's curiosity. What on earth, she says. Why would you plant bushes full of holly and thorns, to cut off the shops from everywhere? The earth's fresh, this is new. Keep undesirables out, suggests Dave. Why, I don't know. Customers, I reckon, could squeeze through somewhere. Almost trying to squeeze through. You accept Dave's challenge to find a spot where the growth isn't too thick. Squeeze through the 6-foot-tall shredder with only moderate cut sound and the sharp pain jolts you back onto the concrete. An electric fence hidden inside, says Dave. That's clever. You get up off the floor and vow that Dave will suffer this. To shops. You walk up to the shops to hear Claire gasp and raise a warning arm in front of you. A pile of rags rearranges itself and grows till you notice a woman's head looking at you in a focused way. She looks neither disheveled enough to be a tramp, not that the dirty sour smell or drunk, but something's not right. A change comes over her. Her mouth forms a snarl. She crouches as if ready to spring, and her eyes lock onto you. Talk to the woman. Great idea, yeah, talk to us. Run away! Your decision turns out to be a matter in the slightest as the two... Jesus Christ! Scatter! Explosions come close to deafening you. Big Mac Rob strides towards you holding a revolver. Sorry about that, he chuckles. It must have been a lot of shock. The snarl makes you realise this isn't over yet. But the third shot wrenches off the woman. These tramps are a real problem, he says, examining the body. 1 minute they've had after loose change. The next they're going to your throat. He laughs uproariously and then hands you something. Looks like you can do a quiz after all. Just take this cow's invite. Shame it will when it got placed. I got an invite. The pub hasn't yet filled, and there's plenty of space for Dave and Claire to gratefully crash onto a comfy sofa. Whose round is it? asks Dave. Yours, replies Claire. Can anyone else get it? says Dave, looking towards the bar. Why? Claire follows his gaze to the young barmaid, wearing a flimsy corset. Oh, it's 'cause you're shy. Wow, I might have to go myself then. What's the bar? You walk up to Eiffel Maidenius. Hi, Elf, you say. Hey you, she smiles sweetly. I thought you'd be here to see me perform as a barmaid. I hope Rob didn't give you too much hassle. He's a scamp, isn't he? Probably upset that his brother's dead. I can't wait to see his little face when he finds out my sister ate him. So, she leans towards you. What will it be, sugar? Despite the pub's traditional taste, your selection of drinks towards the generic. A sense of homeliness is tempted with a wicker basket of condiments. What's in the condiments? You examine the condiments to notice that Mercia Co. have branched out into food seasonings. As well, a pepper pot bears the slogan, pick a pot of our proper pepper. While the salt shaker announces, we take pride in our sodium chloride. We don't feel either item will be useful. You help us? Help you? I know all the questions will be about old stuff, wizards making guys look like kings, so they could get a bit naughty with the queen. Guys yanking swords from stones, sorry. But we're talking about, oh yeah, help. Well, you need to look the part. That commoner suit's all wrong. That gives me an idea. Elf winks as she turns away. Whatever the idea is, she's keeping it to herself. Let's go to the games room. You spot the castle caretaker, Len, by himself in the games room, whistling, rolling some pool balls. Oh God. across the table. Not enter his and enter the pockets. All right, he greets as he sees you, but his mood doesn't seem to perk up. How's it going? Len shrugs and exhales heavily. Not well, friend. Not well. I reckon Ozzy wants rid of me. And it's just waiting till I've outlived my usefulness. Well done on escaping the castle, though. I noticed our pet dire wolves were a bit more unconscious than usual this afternoon. Cretin blames me for that too. Can you help us with the quiz? Yeah, sure. The thing about the quiz is that all the questions and answers are made up. But I've seen enough to know how it all works. Len pauses, looks away and scratches his neck. Yes, you prompt. Really? Sorry about this. Can I ask you a favour? As well as the zombie drug? Vendor rank. They manufacture something they call Mendugao in pharmacy. I'm on their blacklist now. But could you get me some? It's just, I'm under a lot of stress right now. Can't go. Not that simple. Len's expression becomes grim. Ozzy needs soldiers. It's the only guns he has are museum pieces that jam half the time. This means pumping people full of drugs until they're vicious, mindless killers. He did that with his own daughter, Faye. And he's just done with a spy they caught. I'm guessing that explains the gunshots I heard. And he'll do that with you. You guess? Len nods. And you. If you don't play your cards right. Look around. The Clayton Tavern's games room, which consisted of a pool table, a dartboard, a gap in the wall, opens in a bar, but no staff are visible. There is an emergency fire exit with a siren reading no longer operational for security reasons. With no one around to stop you, you help yourself for a few darts, reasoning that any sharp items may be of use. Darts. Okay. Looks like an arrow. Okay, we'll return to the lounge. Return to sit with your friends who are looking at you exponentially. You have to tell us all about Bunny Hill Castle, says Claire, patting a hand on your leg. But let's not die at first in the meantime, babes. Let's go to the jukebox. I don't hear any music. It's there. I'll go. You volunteer besides. I know her. She's called Eiffel or Elf. But I need some money. Adriel checks his wallet and hands you a banknote, which you examine with some disbelief. This is a 50 rubles. Don't worry, he replies. They never check these things. It just needs to feel right. Go to the bar with them. Elf seems in a trance as you approach the bar, singing to herself and tapping on the cash register buttons as if playing a keyboard, and twitchy noise like little noses. Oh, hello, what can I get for you? So what do I do? Oh. You hand over the money and she looks in confusion. £50? She asks. That's a lot. Does strange writing mean it's more valuable than runes? Don't look at me like that. Daddy doesn't let me out of the castle often, says mixing with the serfs. Isn't what a lady does. I'll expect you'll let me keep the change. Most of our patrons tip me very generously. She pours you 3 drinks, spilling most of them into the drip tray. Drinks. I've got the drinks, I guess. Let's go to the friends. You return to sit with the friends, looking. I've done that. Oh. Finally, says Dave, taking his pint of stout. Are we all set? Is she okay? Asks Claire. She sips her neon cocktail and subtly nods in Elf's direction. Kinda, she says. She's helped me escape the castle, but she also knows her sister was in the cells. Cells, says Dave. What kind of hellish place did you drag us to? You decide that pointing out to Dave that he did all the dragging would be a waste of breath. Let's go to the staff room. You find yourself alone in a messy staff room with documents listed, even blankets lying everywhere. Alpha sees a blanket, which lifts slightly to reveal the eyes of Oswald and Mandaeus. Oh, it's you! I believe your orders were to stay in the castle. Leonard let you out. I suppose this is the last straw for him. As far as I'm concerned, you decide to keep quiet rather than explain how you actually escaped. The jukebox. Oh. The jukebox appears to be out of place in the tavern. That wants to shun all modern trappings, and then you notice the tracks. Whichever song you select are very unlikely to be a UK number one in at least 5 centuries. Let's leave the pub. Sorry, sorry, you say to Big Mad Rob as you try to squeeze past him to leave. I'm just popping out. No need to worry, pal, he says, because you're not going anywhere. You don't let me in, and then you don't let me leave? That doesn't make sense. I reloaded my revolver. I don't need to make sense. Jokes aside, it's a bad manners to accept an invitation and then run off. And Mr. Mandaeus really hates bad manners. Just ask our friend in the car park. Oh. Guess I need to go to him then. Well, since I'm here, what can I do for you? Oswald has recovered from an initial surprise and stares at you from the slit of the blanket opening for a few seconds, as if laying down a challenge. For a start, you will not speak to me in that casual manner. We will say no more about your disturbance of late. You have a long way to prove yourself a worthy mission subject. A bare arm emerges, with which Ozzy reaches over to the bedside table, dips a pen into an inkwell, and hands you a note. First of all, I require you to fetch me my attire from the dry cleaners. Show this to Robert at the door. Remember, as a servant on duty, you are to go no further than the shops. Okay. Taking this as a compliment, Oswald smiles, and his voice softens. Of course, in the days of yore, the tavern was the cultural centre of the village, where tales of courage were regaled and heroes enlivened through song. Not like the wretched shout at the televised football match and vomit fizzy lager into the urinals. The culture of today, Monsieur Co, is based around its people, and the tavern in its beating heart. Right, can I leave now? So how am I going to get out of here? Returns down. Oh, maybe I need to hand him the note when... Ah, here we go. Rob checks the note and checks it again, all the while keeping one very suspicious eye on you. Alright then, he says, but I'll be watching closely. If you're thinking about running off, think about whether you can outrun a bullet first. You're in a cold, wet car park, feeling a sense of serenity. Little traffic is passing through the road. Beyond the bordering hedge, the lights are on in nearby houses. Flickering the curtains tells you that Rob isn't the only one taking an interest in it. Only other lights belong to the Clayton Tavern, the pharmacy in the first floor window above the dry cleaners. You try the dry cleaners, but it's locked. Hearing noises from above, you realise that the door next to the entrance is open, that leads to the narrow flight of stairs. You climb the creaky stairs, barely have time to in the cramped office spare. Oh my god. Sorry, my reading awful. You climb the creaky stairs and barely have time to take in the cramped office space when you find your hand being rigorously pummeled and a face far too close to yours. Hi there, comrade in arms. Haha. I bet cash to gash that you'll be in the new research assistant. Pleasure to meet you. My handle's Tessa, and any friend of Tessa's is a friend of mine. Ha! Once you can wrestle your hand free, you examine the office to see 3 other desks, one of which is vacant and lifeless, and the woman occupying the other 2 desks. Although the chair is empty, it appears that its unusual occupant has popped out. A coat and a handbag hung over the chair, while a cup of half-drunk tea in an I love spreadsheets mug competes for a space in the crowded desk. The monitor has gone to sleep. Blimey O'Reilly, the big Wenzel himself sent you, eh? The research assistants must be run ragged. No wonder the last is making me want to cough. The last 3 vanished in a puff of smoke. Speaking of, I'm sure I can magic up the downstairs key for you. Hey presto! Hey voila! Taking the key from Tessa's outstretched hand, you consider that cocaine really is a terrible drug. Let's see what's on the screen. The computer's background features a cartoon sheep wearing a mortarboard, declaring your best teacher is your last mistake. The window is open, which contains the text. Tess quickly minimises this to reveal a movie of 2 extremely friendly blonde ladies, which also hastily moves. Despite that you're intrigued, you feel like remembering the cryptic message has been a huge waste of time. Okay, dry cleaners. You try dry cleaners, but it's locked. Answer. Phew, the words are hissed rather than spoken. By your favourite receptionist, Daisy Fluffington. She sits behind a table consisting of syringes, vividly coloured vials, and a tub of lollipops. I'll bet Len let you out, didn't he? You noticed posters on the wall, and a brand new book in the wastepaper bin. The doorway is marked dispensary. What are you doing? What am I doing? For you to ask, Daisy spends a few seconds composing herself, and a smile doesn't quite reach her eyes, it appears. And helping people. You'll have heard reports of troubled folk using the new drugs, becoming aggressive or atonic. These can be ingested by accident from touching contaminated surfaces or by breathing in the dust from the tabs. I'm offering employees shots of Aira, which gives resistance against these events. Would you like one? You've been such a great help, it's what you deserve. Once the Lord Daisy smiles. No longer bait no one. Yes, I'll do a shot, thank you. Without waiting an instant, Daisy moves around the desk, ties a plastic band tightly around your arm, and gathers the vein with her syringe. You wake up dazed in the car park. You're angry about this, very angry, but it's okay. With an outslot of adrenaline, you know you can take on the world. Starting with the meat you see outside the pub. You charge snarling towards bigger, but 2 gunshots fell. You okay, that was a bad job. Check the bin. Brightly coloured book dumped in the bin is entitled The First Chemistry Book. It is recommended for primary school children. There is a note attached to the front which reads that my dear friend Daisy, you are a nurse now, very enchanting. I think you English, you strange funny humour. This is a joke, no? You are my assistant, very miserable. I do bestow the book to you, to help you. Is my joke funny also? Most kind regards, Dr. Carolla. The poster advises you to stay indoors, save lives like yours. It's supposed to be designed to someone who just discovered word art. How did I recognise it? Sentiment, menacing cokehead, is illustrating the sinister figure of Oswald Mendeus, offering a rose. Okay. Run off, yeah, that's not a good idea. I keep forgetting about these things here, you know. Right. Enter dry cleaners. You enter the dry cleaners and have to reassure yourself that hundreds of arms and legs that surround you are lifeless fabric. With an electric hum, the lights flicker on, and then off, and then on again. The shot puts you in mind of a drum roll sale with a few washing machines stacked on top of each other. Others. Luckily, Oswald Mendias' outfit is waiting on the counter, and you take the black velvet overcoat, red dandy shirt, and top hat, which represents a chunk of his carefully crafted reputation. Up we go to the staff room. There we go. Good, as the expression softens. So all that's left is for Len to set up the equipment. If he's done, so we can begin. Oh, regrettably, there is one more problem. A member of staff has made a complaint about your appearance. He or she feels that your charity shop suit is not in the fitting with the tone of the Clayton Tavern, and I concur. The uniform has been arranged for you. Collect this and report back to me. Where's this uniform? Where's this uniform? Oh, hello. You re-enter the dry cleaners and almost jump out of sight of Elf perched on a chair in a red PVC boots and moving her hips at the time to some interval rhythm. She smiles as she sees you. Thought Daddy was sent you my way. The uniform was my idea. I need a uniform. A uniform, of course you do. You can't be a gallant warlord in that tatty suit, can you? Elf bends over behind the counter, giving you even more of an eyeful before emerging with some folded green material. You hold out your arm, but she hesitates and grins. First of all, she says you'll have to get out your clothes. A new suit, I thought, in some casual clothes. I'm not here to play games, hand it over, please. Fine, Elf spits the words out and throws the clothing towards you with some force. There's a changing room there. Someone will clean your cheap, nasty suit. Probably, or I can just throw it out in a bit where it belongs. You enter a cubicle and change the green tunic. Checking the mirror, you receive a confirmation that you look as ridiculous as you feel. Right, let's go to the closet. You return to the lounge to greet with a snort of laughter from the big mad Rob. The room was filled up, and it's harder to hear your friends over the noise. This is probably for the best. What the hell are you wearing? Asked Dave. Oh, you look like a pixie, says Claire. Well, try this trick and help us out with a quiz, says Dave. We've got our answer sheets, and we've just been waiting for that mad old bloke. Are you ready? In a sec, you say, trying to drown out the mockery. Ozzy wants to see me. Very good, says Oswald. But I am still waiting for Len to provide assistance. See what's taking him so long. You need technical assistance, you say. That doesn't sound very traditional. Anger flashes across Ozzy's face, like lightning, then disappears just as quickly. Be careful where you tread, suggests Oswald. You are approaching a new dawn, and I be your best friend or worst enemy. Think hard about what you prefer. Return down with your friends after numerous pub quizzes. You are very familiar with the sight of Dave droning on while Claire eavesdrops on every people's conversation, occasionally turning back to nod or say that's interesting. They seem happy enough. Alright. Ozzy wants help with the setup. The setup. Len raises his eyes at you. Oh, he means a secret teleprompter. Doesn't he? The one he's got hidden in the nook in the wall. Wonder if he'd notice if I changed the speech to I ought to be locked away in the loony bin with my wife. Bit harsh, sorry, withdrawal symptoms kicking in. Speaking of, I'll need some help from you first. Oh, the pharmacist. Pharmacist. I need to go to the pharmacist, don't I? Alright. No, I'm just some bedpan emptying bimbo. I'm the left pharmaceutical consulting administrator. What does that mean? You asked. Well, first thing is, it means that you better watch your step. If you don't return to your lower duties in the castle immediately, it will go very hard for you. Can I have a lollipop, please? Daisy pictures you with a look of horror. As if you suggested she'd join you in a disabled toilet for 10 minutes. No! These are my lollipops. Isn't a demonstration was needed. She takes a lime green one from the tub and crunches down onto it. Here we go. You enter the dispensary to see several pharmacists at work. In the back of the woman with surgical gloves who responds to your footsteps with some irritation. I again read the sorrows for you, but can't give the new reply. Nothing zilch, diddly squat. We have no Newton production. The toilsome, one vial for Mendaeus family is only we have. The accents sound European. We have no idea exactly. Talk to woman. I'm sure how to proceed. You cough, and the woman turns around. Oh, you are not Daisy. That brings me much publicity. You are new researcher, yes? I am Dr. Korova. It is a pleasure to acquaint you. Mandel, did Lila ask you? That very cheeky man, but I say yes. Sauce. Awesome. And the neurological fascination. How correct adherence to serotonin receptors do alter cognitive perception, yes? Yes, you say, wondering how a woman who sounds like she's stored a dictionary can have so little grasp on the basic sentence structure. Take it, I am Mrs. Rude. Would you try some also, except be cautious, this is a famous rock and roll star who ingests medicinal. He now thinks he is a glass of lemonade. He conserves but remarks like, be careful, you might spill me. No, it's not. Lemonade can talk. This is most relaxing. No, I don't want some like you. Let's grab paper. You pick up the paper and unravel it. Dear Dr. Korova, you have only been on this team for a month, and it regrets me to inform you that I am already concerned about your disrespectful jokes and unprofessional attitude. Rest assured, as your superior, I have escalated this matter to Sire Mendaeus. It sets great stock by my opinion. You are not as essential to this operation as you appear to think you are. Please comport yourself in a more appropriate manner in the future. Can regard Daisy Fuffington, BA ECDL. What's in the safe? The safe is locked and requires a 4-digit combination to open. No, you correct yourself, a 4-letter combination. Neither Dr. Korova nor the other pharmacists seem to care that you're examining the safe, but that doesn't help you with the code. Curiously, it's actually the so it's tapped. Alright, let's leave. Leave the pharmacist. Right, we can go to Len now. To the games room. Thanks, you're a star, he says as he grabs the pills and is about to swallow one, but manages to compose himself, taking several deep breaths. One sec, I need a drink. My throat's really dry. Okay, the quiz first of all. Everything Ozzy says is utter trite. The point is to get his minions to set his world in the truth. It's how cults work, and he gives marks to whoever's in his good books. There are 3 other teams: pharmacy, finance and security. Here, I'll write this down for you. He looks around and finds some paper to write on. Pharmacy are in favourite this week because they finalised the zombie drug and the antidote, so they'll get the right answers. The only way they'll be wrong is if the finance and security agree on something different. Got that? Looking at their answer sheets, easy enough. I suppose I'm best go help Ozzy out now. Excellent! Oddwell's voice is noticeably deeper and silkier, like an actor who needs a costume to perform a role. He puts a hand on your shoulder. The warrior tunic is very suitable, because I have great plans for you and your friends to fight for the mystery of the tradition, for the good of the people and the kingdom. No, what's wrong with you? It is sad, but I expected this attitude from you, he says with a shake of the head. I'm afraid one must be realistic. You are not a scholar, scribe, or historian. The glory of the battlefield awaits you. Don't be afraid, you will be embittered with Fenderic. The Saxon warriors drink resurrected in the Messerico labs, so you will feel no pain. Only a victory at tonight's quiz will convince me that you have the talents in a different path. Your friend's looking in expectation. Are we good to go? Asked Dave. Looks like, says Claire, pointing to the opening staff room door. Wow, is that your boss? He looks impressive, in an unhinged sort of way. What do we win anyway? Asked Dave. You hesitate, I'll tell you later. Sit down. You don't see Oswald at first, but the hush from the front stage quickly sweeps across the lounge, like a pacifying wave, till you hear the man's footsteps approach the mic and watch him pause to take in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice is almost seductive. It's an honour to be in your fine company this evening. We enjoy these quizzes because we like to solve problems, yes? Right as risotto. Sounds out Tessa. That seems to irk Ozzy, but he proceeds. There are some problems that even worldly knowledge cannot solve. This one proud land has been corrupted. Greedy politicians selling out to modern ideas. His voice is getting louder. Satellites spawning endless Yankee shit into our homes. Swarms from Bongo land diluting our culture, drugged up zombies, shaming our city centres and giving life to the promises to the modern world. When you feel he can't get any louder, he pauses and looks around the crowd and echoes, and speech fades. So he asks calmly, what do we need? What do we do? Yes, what do we do? Ozzy looks directly at you. Well, he says, I will enlighten you. On this very land there was once stood a proud and noble country, a country where the ideals of chivalry, notably and reason triumphed, a country called Mystery. Ladies and gentlemen, by tomorrow Mystery will be resurrected, and I stand humbly before you as your new king. Our subjects have developed a shield to those drugs the modern world depend on. I say, if they love decadence so much, then let's overwhelm them with drugs and rub their faces into their own sickness. When the modern world comes begging for an antidote, I will lay down on my demands, and they will find out it is an antidote to the modern world itself. Now let us begin the quiz. That's a friend. Bloody hell, says Dave as Ozzy leaves the stage and the pub chatter renews. Claire has nothing to add. Dave looks like he's about to add something. I mean, bloody hell, really? He elaborates. I don't know if this is a good time to mention it, and if you don't win, he's going to drug us up and make us zombies, like that woman Rob shot. Your friends just nod despondently, as if they expected nothing better. There's a drink-stained answer sheet in front of you, and 3 other teams are sat around. No sooner do you stand and your friends take one of the shoulders each and drag you back. No, says Dave, you're running off to play dress up again. Not till we've come up with a plan at least. Oh god. Quizzed in my pants. Guess who chose the team name? Now it answers, he says, rolling his eyes. Claire laughs, spitting out some of her drink. Her third drink, you deduce from the empties. These are possible, says Dave. I wanted to use my phone, says Claire, but some cow in a suit confiscated it. Do you have any ideas? Clearly not willing for you to run off again. Your friends grab your shoulders. Hold your horses, says Claire. We still need a plan, says Dave. We'll go. Oh. Walk about just yet. All the answers are made up. Asked Dave. It's outrageous. People just can't just write anything. People just write anything all the time. Answers Claire. Especially if they think they're king. I know what to do. It's easy. We'll just go around the tables, get their answers, and pick up the right ones. Oh, Jesus Christ. The pharmacy table consists of Dr. Cover, Daisy, and a couple of unfamiliar faces. Nobody looked very happy, but Dr. Cover perks up as she sees you. Hello, my good friends, she says. New research assistant come to join us, yes? Daisy's less pleased to see you and bites into the lollipop. It's sadness that you You don't join us, but I help you because we are friends. Perhaps I am Mrs. Naughty, but we share our answers. Dr. Clover hisses Daisy. I strictly forbid you to. Shut up, Daisy, says Dr. Clover. As you look at each other, answer sheets. Who is this god Claire Bear, the Almighty? I know not. But you note down Team Pharmacist's answers while trying to avoid the blazing glare of Daisy. You return to the pub, able to puzzle over the answer sheet. Actually, I can answer it. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. Great. So is it again? Come to join us after all, say so, because I put your friends have a different point of view. Shaking their heads, the doctor's eye line. I'd normally announce the results on stage, says Ozzy, going through papers, but time doesn't permit on this occasion, and we don't want certain people getting upset and spoiling the atmosphere, do we? A cruel laugh in the air makes you realise Daisy is standing right behind you. The door slams shut, so if you're confident with your answers, you may hand over your sheet. If not, I will permit you a few more minutes. Right, okay. The security team by the door consists of Big Mad Rob and all his friends. In other words, Big Mad Rob, tankard in hand, he sways on his stool and leers as you approach him. Oh look, he says, it's Team Fairy. You wearing anything under the skirt? If you're after my answer, you can forget it. Just look forward to being mindless zombies, not anyone. Tell the difference. He laughs at his excellent wit and takes another drink. Let's ask Claire. Claire goes to Dave and whispers to his ear, looking at you a couple of times. Dave nods. They're getting very suspicious. She walks back to you, smiles at Rob, and then suddenly lifts the hem of the tunic above your waist. Rob looks down as you open mouth wide-eyed. Before you react, you can see Dave making an okay thumb and forefinger gesture from behind Rob's shoulder. You know how Team Security's answers. You say as you walk back to the table. We have serious talk about boundaries. Right, so finance table. You find the finance team in rapturous conversation. Well, you find Tessa in a rapturous conversation. The other team members look like they'd be happier in a war zone. Can you share your answers? I'd be happy as hippity if we could, says Tessa, but the king won't like it. And my team are counting on me. He waves his arms, taking one woman looking at her watch, and another tearing the cigarette paper into smaller and smaller pieces. And there are tough questions this week. Funny thing, I've lived in Clayton my whole life, and I never knew there was once a battle of Bunny Hill. He winks, and you wonder if there's something more shrewd as it's I. I stay out. You stand behind Claire Bear. Both in a state of curiosity as Dave whispers something into the man's ear. The man seriously shrugs and strokes his chin whilst looking coy. There's a quick exchange of something shiny and Dave turns back to you. Okay, he says, we've got their answers. Dave asks Claire, the bribe. Did you bribe him? I thought you had no money. Well, you know all that cash lying around after the barmaid left, he said. I don't know. I don't want to know. I think we're done. Go staff room. Submit answers. As he smiles as you read your answers, so you feel a tight grip on your arms, just as I expected. He says, not good enough. Oh, I got turned, didn't I? Ah. This is interesting. Everyone's not agreeing. Same thing. Pharmacies are supposed to get them all right. Right, leave. Pharmacist. You swing by against room doorway, open a fraction by creating a lens to before singing. Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer, we'll keep the red flag flying here. I don't think Len is going to be any more help just yet. Inform your friends closing the door. You don't have exactly to fight through it anymore. Jukebox, which is hardly surprising. It's a selection of electric. At best, the music is all the way more suitable for background ambience than a single-on. Perhaps we'll get all of them right unless finance and security agree on something different. That one, I've done the same answer. Oh, finally! You feel Daisy grab your arms and Ozzy reads out your answers. Looks up to you with a raised eyebrow. My congratulations, he says. It appears that team quizzed in my... He sighs. That your team has triumphed this week by cheating. Daisy's grip tightens and you feel spittle against the back of your neck. You've always had a direct approach, Miss Huffington. Says Ozzy, it is one of your strengths, and many problems can be solved with a hammer. Other problems, however, require a corkscrew. Yes, I know that you were cheating. We have a lack of creative thinkers in our ranks. He turns to you. You may now come with us. It doesn't sound like a request. You are led into the night through a fire door, and the noise as the luxury car's door opens and emphasizes the silence. Captain Plunky tips his hat to Ozzy and ignores you completely as you clamber into the back seat besides Daisy. Miss Flippington will be happy to fill you in with any questions you have, says Ozzy as the engine starts. Yes, very happy, sire, Daisy hisses. Where are we going? We are returning to Bunny Hill Castle, but not for the rest. Certain arrangements need to be made before sunrise, which of course will be perfect. I'm to pounce. Where are my friends? Your friends are being escorted to the castle by Robert. He will ensure they are kept comfortable in Austin's room under lock and key, of course. I understand you went snooping in there against orders. Austin went snooping too, and she learned the error of her ways. You turned your own daughter into a zombie, blurts out. Oswald shuts his eyes. For one, struggles to get the words out. Daisy assists. There'll be a cakewalk compared what will be due to your friends if you cross us. How much is one life worth when you looked at over centuries of the millennium? Oswald's voice seemed more brittle. If you go back and stop Stonehenge to save a few labourers from getting tired, a century from now, we will all return to Earth, our deeds and achievements will live on. Let's get out of drugs. You said we were going to overwhelm the modern world with drugs, you say. What did you mean? Do you know what a withering is? A Ozzy? It's a magnificent beast of yore, like a dragon in a traditional nursery in Elmdon. Sometimes the past cannot be exactly replicated, but in spirit we have a legion of birds ready to fly across and into battle. Apparently this is what Ozzy considers an adequate answer, but you're not getting any more out of him. Enjoy the journey. Bunny Hill is the newly resident castle of Birch. As you turn the corner and climb a road. Ooh, good. Wish I'd known about the road before, you say. I just say that your shoes falling apart. Oswald and Daisy look at you. Neither are keen to share your amusement. Stop, says Ozzy, get out. Before his gaze, as you see the dire wolves, Fang and Cerberus lying in a pool of blood, which glistens black in the dark and streams from what used to be their throats. Car door opens with surpassing pace. Ozzy and Daisy are at the flunky or sprint towards the castle, which is only yards away. Following the others, you run headfirst into the castle's door as it slams shut on you. The sound of the click and the slamming bolts making it clear that you are not very much on your own now, or maybe not. As the snarling figure of Austrian comes into view. Hello, Faye. Desperately, my friends. You've helped me, trying to focus your dazed head. You spot the side entrance you just reached with, but you better make a decision quick. You throw a dart at Faye, which sticks into her hand. There's no change in her. Doesn't even seem to have noticed so much for that idea. Perhaps the dart alone wasn't enough, you think, realizing change your approach. Onto the door. Your eyes glance to the door, Faye. You run at the full pelt towards it. So does Faye. You grab the handle and turn the barge into the door without knowing whether it's locked or not. This time your look holds and you're able to enter the room. Ram the door shut and slide a bolt in place. A tremendous bang leaves the door locked and you brace yourself for Faye's second attempt at getting through. But there is no more. Blue Valkyrie, are you okay? Blue Valkyrie, that's a tiny voice. You slump down on a wall, try to relax, your breathing, and only just notice you're in an old-fashioned kitchen, and thankfully alone, you are not the Blue Valkyrie, states the voice. So, madam, respond. Very well, sir, says the voice. Whose location are you trying without success to establish? Are you friendly? Yes. You hear the voice sigh. You know it doesn't even matter if you're friendly. We need to stop Matthias. And we can only do it if you can locate Blue Valkyrie, the spy, you ask. They killed her. Really, I understand they killed an unfortunate woman called Gemma Flowers, says the voice. You located the walkie-talkie yet? No, I can't find it. The voice pauses and then sighs. It's in the bread bin. Be aware, it's only set up for received transmissions. You rummage around the kitchen and take the device. So who's Blue Valkyrie, you ask. You are now talking to yourself. In the kitchen. Like the rest of the castle, the kitchen is newly built but designed to look old-fashioned, right down to the hanging wildflower, herbs and vegetables, which makes you wonder if you've got an hour to spare to prepare a meal. Probably not. You think that to simply help yourself a few snacks, thinking danger may be ahead. You check the drawers for knives, cutlery and utensil drawers are bare. The only other curiosity is a small panel in the wall. A simple lock, it doesn't open. You're in a narrow corridor with a spiral staircase that leads downwards. A metal grille with a sign, no access, temporary security measure. Prevents you from climbing up, at least most of the other rooms look open. The door to the antechamber is locked, but there is a letterbox slot-sized opening in the eye level, which you can slide back the night from the open front door is your only light source. It takes some adjustments for you to notice a moving silhouette shuffling around the room, picking open drawers and then using the pin beam light to read documents. You can take an educated guess at what the shaded figure is. The torch beam shuts off and the figure freezes and then moves to the doorway, seemingly unsure about whether to flee. I got your walkie-talkie, you'd say, in a tone of the voice you might use while approaching the timid animal. I don't like Ozzy either. I'm your friend. We can help each other. This has no impact on the figure, and you realise you're going to have to force hand. Time to raise the stakes. Hello. Oh my god. Who do I choose? Figure pauses for some time and then walks back into the room. Alright, you got me. He says and flicks on the light. What can Terry do for you? What are you doing? I'm doing my job, my real job. The bugger all exists so far. The man's voice is far more Rick than the office joke he remembered. There's only one way, a realistic way, that Ozzy can carry out his plans. I need to stop it. Can I help? If you could get me in, that would be great. There's no way. The place is in lockdown, and if the dire wolves don't get me, Zombie Girl will. He pauses and then seems to reach a conclusion. Look, take this. This is a nasty little bit of code inside of that. It just might work. We've used the thermal cameras, sorry, and there's a lot of power being used on the top floor. Once you get there, well, it will know what to do. Terry reaches to the door slot and passes you a memory stick. Right, nice knowing you. Can't chat all night. Thanks, you say. What do I... The light has gone out and you're now talking to the darkness. Subterranean laboratory is exactly as welcoming as you remember it. Maybe even less so now. Someone's removed the computer and the only features seems to be airlocked glass cabinet. At least there's no moaning from the cells that time, you think. But a quiet bang from the direction puts you on alert. You almost jump from the sensation against your thigh and then realise it's the walkie-talkie vibrating. Where are you? The voice is in your ear, menacing you. Quickly place it as Rob's. I said, where the fuck are you? You keep your mouth shut fine. It doesn't matter. I'm going to hunt you down and sort you out, pal. You can count on it. I know you murdered my brother. You hid his revolver. And then he was killed by a zombie bitch. That's not what happened. You begin. Shut up. I talked to Elf and she told me all about it. You're living on borrowed time. The transmission dies and you wait for your breathing to calm down before making the next move. So Elf's been telling Porkies about you. The cabinet. You check the glass cabinet behind which lies strange vials and pleasant looking metallic objects which hope have medical purpose. The real presence. Smashing straight through, there is a 4-digit lock with a message underneath. Oh, fucking hell. The message is written on a diary paper. Hello my good pharmaceutical friends. I changed the code to simplicity, easy for us, but not for my layman. He is an ominous cabinet thinks intruder locks down. One aggression. Oh god. But if one doesn't generate aggression, then pull 3311. He would be silly. You take the note considering that you possibly have guessed the author without signing. Antidote 2, 3, 4. What to sell? When you were last down here, you found a zombified prisoner and a rotting flesh, so it's a surprise to see Len looking quite healthy and also quite naked. He drinks whiskey from a heavy glass decanter and smiles shyly at you from a crouched position. His ankles are chained to the floor. For a sniffer, he says, the ambience isn't great down here, but at least you're away from Captain Creepy. What happened? Well, Rob's revolver compelled me to take a lovely road trip here with your friends. And Elf, who proceeded to invent a story about how you and I killed Rob's brother and trust that girl about as far as I could throw her. I think they took your friends to one of the bedrooms. Are you okay? I mean, I am going to turn into a ravenous zombie at any second. Break from the chains and eat you alive. I wouldn't worry. They haven't injected me yet. I've had what they call the pre-op, which consisted of Rob stripping me and chaining me up. He seems to enjoy that a bit too much. I bet he wears Satan knickers under those levels. He helped me. Got an army knife. Well, I can lend you this. He hands you a Swiss Army knife, which is painted with the colours of Mercia. These always come in useful, always through. I'd end up in this cell, so I hid it inside. Don't you need it? You asked. Don't worry about me, I've loosened the chains, so I'm not as helpless as I seem. And that bastard who tried to inject me is gonna get a real shock when he meets the other item I hid. Len raises the heavy decanter as if making a toast as a bonus to keep the cold out too. I could warm you up instead. Len raises his eyebrows at your request and puts his tankard down. You know, I might just take you up on that offer. With no warning, he reaches a stronger arm across your waist and pulls you onto his lap. You instantly reach out and wrap your arms around his body to keep you balanced, scenting whiskey and aftershave. With only the thin fabric of the tunic in between your bodies, he pulls you right against his chest and kisses you for a long time. You still haven't got rid of the breath back when he releases you. Taken aback, you almost stumble over the man's leg and bring your hand down for a balance. You quickly pull your hand back up, but find the floor at the second attempt. You begin. I know, he says, you've got important things to do. I shouldn't keep you. Looks like you've warmed me up too. Now, he winks, taking another draw of whiskey. You stand up, patting yourself down with as much dignity as you can muster. Right. The parlour. You're in the parlour where you first spoke to Ozzy approximately a lifetime ago. A grandfather clock ceremoniously marks seconds and spot a message in the window panel you haven't noticed before. A table also stands by the fireplace. Engraved message reads, amidst the hour of witching beneath the blue moon's gaze, passage will be granted, but what goes through these days? On thorough examination, you find slight gaps in the panelling that could well indicate that there may be more that meets the eye here. Spotting a notepad on the table, you jot down the poem for further references. Future. The old-fashioned table contains a blank pad of paper, some cheap plastic pens and a small key which you can take. Amidst the silence of the parlour, the grandfather clock takes on the imposing personality of its own. You wonder if there's anything you can do with it, but there's no obvious way to open it. Pocket knife. You take out the missing army knife and fan out strange tools. Sporks and fish scale are unlikely to be used. Screwdriver most certainly is. You quickly remove the panel of the grandfather clock. Now what? Oh god. You have even the inner workings of the mansion's stately grandfather clock. It doesn't seem to be much effort to change the time and date now, but you hope you'll achieve more than make Ozzy wait for appointments. Beneath the moon. Clear here. Yeah, that's gotta be a clue. It's gonna be October, isn't it? Oh, I'm already on October, never mind then. Try 19th. Go for them all. Oh, I hit something. Jesus. You didn't quite prepare yourself for how loud the chimes would be right by your ears, but you allow yourself a moment's triumph. The wall's panel slides up and opens to a stone stairwell. Your hearing returns, you ponder the last line of stanza. What goes through me stays. Enter passage. No sooner do you step through the doorway than the whole panel slams shut behind. you plunging you into near darkness. Once the eyes adjust, you make out a light at the top of the stone staircase. You don't appear to have much choice for your next movements. Rain has seeped into the stairwell and slippery steps test your balance to the limit. A broken neck is a very real prospect. The slimy rocks to your side offer little help. Sitting in front of you are 3 dolls. You must be approaching Daisy's room. That wasn't strange enough. You can feel a spray of fine mist against your face. It was an unpleasant chemical smell to it. You swear you hear a nasty chuckle. Owl and the Pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money. Wrapped up in a £5 note, the owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh lovely pussy, oh pussy my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you swing, oh let us be married. Too long we have tarried. But what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day, to land where the bong tree growls, and there as wood and piggy-wig stood, with a ring at the end of his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. How to steal? Oh! Dear piggy, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Said the piggy. I will so. They took it away, and were married next day. By the turkey who lives on the hill, they dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a small spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the moon, like the moon, but the moon, they danced meant the moon. Against all common sense, you take greasy stone stairs at the sprint. You escape from the dolls, suffering only a broken neck and death. After your footing gives way and you cannon down the stairs. I know, you were under a lot of pressure, but it seems that's what someone else was counting on. Why not try again? Right, climb stairs. Run upstairs. I fell. Run downstairs. Okay, wrong again. Climb stairs. Attack the dolls. Okay. Stay still. Stay still. Oh, you! Escaping the passage, you find yourself in Daisy Pufferton's bedroom. The woman bears down on you with wrath of the gods, while hundreds of dolls gaze down from the shelves, as if spectators of a creepy coliseum. Usurper, did you really think sucking up to Oswald would help you? You may have fooled him, but I know what you are and what you're planning. You know he thinks you're dead. Well, I hate to disappoint him. Reason with Daisy, fight Daisy, grab a doll, run downstairs. Grab a doll. You tentatively pick up the nearest doll as it might bite, and Daisy also starts looking less assured. What are you doing? She asked before recovering. Put him down right now. Run downstairs with the doll. Roll down the air. You throw the doll to the ceiling, and Daisy's anger turns to blind panic. Murderer! She shouts and races forward. Leaping in the air, she catches the doll but stumbles over the overstretched leg to receive a one-way trip down the bottom of the stairs. Around the room. You look around and the dolls look back, seeming to pass judgment on you as you poke and prod around the room. Along with Daisy's own medications, you find an empty bottle marked Magul, which she must have used to drug you. Doesn't seem to be anything useful here. Leave the bedroom. You leave the room and enter a corridor which displays a gross teak painting that brings back memories of frustration, and you wonder if your journey is nearing its climax. Gold-plated name tags on 3 doors read Daisy Bluffington, Ethel Mandeus, and Austrian Mandeus. Behind a gate with a small padlock, stairs lead up to the second floor of the adjacent gate descending to the ground floor appears far from securely locked. Bob's already been thinking you can hear snatches of conversation from Faye's room. You approach as quietly as you can and listen through the keyhole. Do you think she likes me? Dave, elf, always likes anything with a penis. Fantastic. You gently rap the door and hear two extinguished gas. It's only me, you say. Oh, thanks God, babe, says Claire. Can you get us out? You rattle the handle, but to no avail. Nice thinking, Sherlock, says Dave. We had tried that. No, can't think of anything, you say. More sharp with anticipated. Is that you? Asks Claire. Yes, it's me. Don't worry, you say. Can you get us out? I'll try, you say. A little hope. Daisy. You have absolutely no desire to tackle the stairs again, but look down into the dark passage despite the lack of light. You're pretty sure Daisy's fate, nobody's head, should be at that angle in their body. Beside her, the doll's eyes look into yours. You look what you really want to be somewhere else right now. I actually can't do anything. Oh, never mind. You open Eiffels door to find her in a terrible way. She's in floods of tears, handcuffed to the bed in a state of semi-undress. She speaks remarkably through sobs and a strap that tied her around her face. It was Rob, she says. He told me I'm being disobedient. Please help me. Following your recent experiences, you stay alert and look around the room before entering, spotting a small key on the table, which you take. You kneel down to help Elf, getting a scent of perfume. Take her hands, bringing the restraints towards you. She squeezes your back. There's a small keyhole. The key doesn't quite fit. That's one for the stair, she says. You'll have to find another. But now you've got the cuffs open, and all you did was accidentally press the release catch. She could probably have freed herself if she wanted. What happened, you ask? What happened? She whimpered, putting her arms around your back and bringing her face to yours. As the gallant hero has rescued me and you've got some time to kill. She presses her body against yours and you feel her tongue brush around your lips and then slide in between. Wait, she says, pushing you gently back. I need to get changed. Turn around. Leave. As you turn the key, you hear footsteps, but their location is hard to place. It's probably snutting. Don't think. Uh-oh. Well. You turn around to be greeted by a gruff and out of the breath voice. I've been looking all around the hill, all around the castle, but it was worth it. Oh yes, it was worth it. You back up the stairs. Rob is advancing up towards you and brandishing his revolver. So, how do we do this? I could shoot you right here and now, but I think the cells where you belong, maybe a good close of Slandrix is what you need. Make you nice and helpless, don't worry. I'll be sure to come and visit you whenever I want something to do. You think you can hear more footsteps, but they're very faint. Wait for time. Sandras, you say. Is that the stuff that makes the vicious zombies? Well, no, Rob replies. It means sleep drink. You're thinking of Fendrick. That's the warrior's drug it makes. We try not to give the game away with eye contact, but Rob has sensed the presence of Len behind him. He turns around on the spot to meet heavy whiskey decanter full of the forehead. Several shots go off as Rob's arm wildly flails and Len drops to the ground clutching his leg. Blood from both men fall on the carpet, but Len remains conscious. Let me help you, you say, noticing with relief that Rob's bullet ended up in the wall. I'll be fine, says Len, though clenching teeth. Daisy's got almost enough meds in the room to bring the dead back to life. I'm sure she'll have enough for that fire wound. He manages to grin, and after I've patched myself up, I think I'll give Rob a guided tour of the cells, if he's still alive, that is. Len pauses in the thought that take Rob's revolver. He Well, he checks the cylinder, then pats the man's pockets and swears, well, this isn't going to be much good use anymore. He says, what should I do? Guess you'll be meeting old Ozzy now, says Len. He's got armed men there. Someone attacks out the question. You might need to get a bit sly. Items you've got. You show him the USB stick and tell him about Tezza. He laughs, the old fox. He says that the fate of the nation depends on a tiny bit of plastic. Whether some sleep-deprived coders had enough coffee to avoid muddling up his punctuation marks. I suppose that's how the modern world works. Oh, bugger it. I'm sounding like Ozzy now. Len laughs. Well, this is the only way. Good luck. I get that one. Downstairs. Here he is. You reach the top of the castle to see light shining off the sword. Pikes and suits of armour from times long past. The armoury is furnished with long wooden tables and chairs, most elaborate of which sits Osmond Mendes, who smiles as you enter. I knew you'd get here, he says. One can almost believe in the inevitability of events. There exists a flame of glory and goodness that never dies. It can be concealed by the rottenness of fools and traitors, sometimes for centuries, but it will always be set free. And here we both are. Not by chance either. You've proven your worth after all, and now the hour is upon us. And we shall drink to our success as he stands and bows as performing to gallery of ghosts from time long past. For all we know, maybe he is. Taken in the room, you spot two armed guards in the corner who first took to be suits of armour due to their stillness. In the ridiculous uniforms Oswald has them in, this historical theme doesn't extend to the weaponry, which is of the kill you with all the pull of the index finger variety. You also seen a small shaft, which must be the dumb waiter that leads down to the kitchen. So what's happening exactly, you ask? But then hear someone running up the stairs. The guards step forward, but then halt as an angry elf enters the room. I just spoke to Len, says Elf. You're not really going to do this, are you, Daddy? Our ancestors fought terrible battles for their glory, claims Nias as reading from an eternal script. All we have to do is kill thousands of people, thought Elf. And for what? She approaches her father, some crazy parody of the past that never was. I like to make believe in my dresses things, but at least I know it's to pretend enough. Alfron whispers. And you know nothing about history anyway. It was disease, famine and slavery, not Lancelot riding about on a f***ing unicorn. Language, I thought. Oswald backhands his daughters across the face, and she sits down on the verge of tears. Now Oswald turns to you while we wait for the wine to ascend the dumbwaiter. You may go to the ramparts, and you will see what necessarily he waves in an arm in the doorway. Oh God. You gratefully leave the armory as an outdoor walkway. With stunning nighttime views of Clayton and beyond, you wonder about the people whose rooms you see as pinpricks of light. The wind and rain against your skin feels almost like a blessing after a castle interior. What's less welcome is the buzzing noise, which is getting louder and further you walk. Turning away from the view, you pinpoint the source that stacks of cages next to a large box with an aprium cover over it. Don't be too long, you hear Ozzy shout, making you realize you might only have one chance out here on the ramparts. You almost scream as dozens of giant buzzing spiders hover around within cages. Chinks of white glisten on their metallic surfaces, and you quickly recover your senses to realize that they're drones. This realization fails to reassure you. At the tops of the cages are signs half red, Fendrins weathering half red, Sembrance weathering on the box. You lift up the tower to reveal a computer console. The screen displays a map of the British Isles with information besides the largest cities you read. Liverpool 1 hour, London 3.5, Glasgow 5 hours, beneath which the words countdown to the cage release and the next timer. just passed by. You place the USB stick in the console and a message appears. Terminate launch. Beside a big red button scales everything around it. The screen immediately switches off and the smell of burning emanates from the console. You turn to the cage dwells, crackle and electrical surge, and then fall flat. Emitting smoke, they all light up with a bang, which makes you jump until you release that firework that's exploding in the air above you. I thought it was killing me. Looking down to the hill, you see a silhouetted man, suddenly drenched in light. His face up to you and waves good. Shout, "Blue Valkyrie!" Now you better make yourself scarce. You pace down the bunny hill along the same path you took when you first came here. For your interview some 100 years ago, and importantly away from the road up with police cars speed, their sirens blaring. You're spared the world from Oz's dream as a resurrected mercenary, and now it's time to leave pitch and go home. Your friends walk beside you in silence, stopping to look at the helicopter as it focuses its beam on Bunny Hill Castle. Claire Bear turns to you with a sigh. You know you really can't hold down a job, can you, babes? Wow. Well, we've reached the end of the Bunny Hill saga. Thanks for playing. I hope you had fun. It's been emotional as ever. Comments, critique, ratings, and pause. Oh, welcome. Always do your best to respond. First item with a detective game now, so feel free to see how Crunchy Fried Games is getting on, or see if you can get a different ending. You get to submit to Ozzy one. I bet you do. My voice is fried. Never actually played a game where it's just constant talking for like, what time is it now? I think 2.5 hours I've been going at this. My voice is fried. I was going to do more games, but I think I won't be able to now. My voice is going. Well. Oh, where's the continue button? Okay. Where does it put me if I continue? Oh. Alright then. Well, that has been the Bunny Hill Horror Reboiler. Thank you for the recommendation. I really did enjoy that. I obviously can't read very well, so sorry if people feel like it's not as good as it should be. But I did try my best. Hopefully the more games I play with reading, the better I become at it. It's just big words getting me muddled up and stumble sometimes. Thank you all so much for watching me. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, make sure you press that big red subscribe button to see some more videos I am doing. I'm going to start doing some Beat Saber VR videos since I now have an Oculus Quest 2. I've got Beat Saber on that. I won't be able to do custom songs yet, or hopefully soon I might be able to, with a few changes here or there. If you have any games, make sure you suggest them down below. Send me an email down, or leave a comment down below what games you think I should play next. See you guys. Bye guys.